Our twin boys, born via gestational surrogate, birthed at 34.5 weeks, required a 2-week NICU stay. Although difficult and challenging, we're grateful for having the best doctors and nurses caring for our boys 24 hours a day. We were able to stay with them during their entire NICU journey and are blessed to share the success story 1 year later.
Ready?
Yeah.
We only have one baby now. Welcome back to our channel. So yes, we are dads to twins, but we have one twin who refuses to be carried without having a meltdown. Welcome to the toddler years. Hi, I'm having a complete meltdown. No, toque la cara. So welcome back. And this one's trying to see what he's doing. So we're going to let him live.
He's walking
his
around.
life.
Look at him. He's walking. Oh, do everything.
So we have done this about 7 times. We've tried him with the kids, without the kids. We're gonna do them without the kids, just so we can get this out of the way. This whole YouTube thing is going to get a lot more complicated as the boys get bigger and try to kill them.
No.
So please pray for us. And in this video, we are going to talk about our NICU experience as he was trying to eat a piece of rug. So we're going to be diving into our journey and what we went through about exactly a year ago today. We spent 2 weeks in the NICU. And we want to share some tips of what we went through to help guide somebody that may be going through a similar NICU journey, or to better prepare yourselves if you're going to be going through a preterm labor type of scenario. So let's get this video started. So the boys want to be free, as you can see in the back there. Dean is just
He's like right there.
exploring.
And then Devin's over here.
We got fillings.
Yeah, so we have teddy bears. Their favorite stuffed bears.
No abre eso.
What is he doing? Is he opening
He's
the door?
opening the closet.
Dean!
How do we keep closets closed?
Oh, I'm sure there's like a locking mechanism you gotta get for it. Oh, the balloons. Let's bring out a balloon.
No, there's no balloons.
Yeah, there is.
Well, there's one.
Wait.
Sorry, we interrupt this YouTube channel because Dean wants a bank balloon.
Yay! Now they can play.
Okay, here we go. We got our stand-ins, the bears, and we are going to try to get this video done. This is just our new normal. It is only going to get harder to try to control.
Every time we try to include them in a video, it just gets rougher on us.
Yeah, and then YouTube doesn't like when we don't include them, so
here we go. So we brought out a balloon and they're having fun playing with it, and it's keeping them
occupied without getting into trouble. So okay, so here we go. Let's continue. Talk about the NICU. So if I had to give a piece of advice, it would be to research the hospital and the different level of NICUs that the hospitals have near you.
Yeah, I believe there's 4 different levels. Don't quote me on this, but depending on the gravity of the baby and how early they were born and what kind of needs they require, I think it goes from 1 to 4, something like that, with 4 being the most intense. I believe we were in a level 2 or 3 NICU, and it was a journey.
Yeah, I think that if you're having twins, for sure, find the NICU, tour the NICU, see which NICU you like the best, because in our NICU, there was a huge difference between the 2. There was one that was an older hospital that had a higher NICU.
I think it was a level 4 NICU.
And then in the one that we actually had the boys, had a level 3, but it was a brand new NICU, and it had separate rooms, which in NICUs, most NICUs they have like a common room and all the babies are in that room.
I mean, I wasn't aware of it being any other way than like that.
Right, but in this one they had private rooms, so it was huge. Even though we were in 2 separate rooms.
Yeah, we each had our own sleeping quarters, so it made it so comfortable and convenient for us. You know, we each oversaw one child and we took turns doing that, and we had a bed and a bathroom and everything we would need right next to our baby. So alarm went off, we would be right there next to our baby, hearing it, feeding them, doing whatever it is what we had to do just to keep an eye on them, even though the nurses were doing a phenomenal job. Like when they were first born and they told us they had to stay in the NICU, I didn't know that we were gonna have that convenience. I was like, let me look for a hotel. But you know, it was pretty incredible that they had those accommodations for us.
I think that even if you're not having twins, you should find out which NICU you're going to be at, because you just never know.
Or just have a primary selection and a backup selection, just in case, depending on what your needs are. You may need to go to the backup selection. So have 2 hospitals in mind before you give birth.
Mira, saluda a la cámara, nene. Say hi. Say hi, YouTube. YouTube. That was so good. YouTube. He says it like un cubano. YouTube. YouTube. Oh.
Good job, baby.
Someone is walking all by himself, which is the whole point of this video, and why we wanted to make it was because, you know, you do hear some horrible stories in the NICU, and then not a lot of people highlight the successes of YouTube. The successes of the NICU. You know, our boys are huge, and as you can see, Dean is
thriving. They're completely
walking
thriving
already. And
look, and Devin's standing up too, and he's about to walk. He takes a couple paces here and then throws himself on the wall or whatever. He hasn't really let go too much, but he's getting there. Our little chunky monkey.
you know, when we were in the NICU, it's hard to imagine that these are the same kids, because Devin was our little baby, you know, and now he's 3 pounds bigger than Dean.
Yeah, he was our baby B. He was always the most active one, right, in the belly. Whoa.
He's just walking from side to side.
I'm just scared of him like falling and hitting his head. He already has a little bit of a bump. He's always exploring and being adventurous and getting himself into trouble and injured. And I guess that's part of boys will be boys. But where were we?
You know, that it's just hard to believe that they're the same children that were having a hard
I
time.
was talking about how
breathing and a hard time eating, and now look at them. They are thriving, walking.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Okay, so in the NICU, we learned so much. We basically learned how to be fathers.
We learned every single thing that we've used from that day forward. From changing diapers, the butt creams. I didn't even know there were so many different types and so many different categories of butt creams. And we start feeding and
bathing.
Yeah, it's just so much. We learned everything.
The art of a swaddle. Yes, because it's definitely an art form. And it was a crash course into fatherhood. Right, baby? Yeah. Yeah. Un besito, papi. Un besito, sí. Sí. YouTube. Say YouTube. Say YouTube. YouTube. So the NICU also gave us a taste of what it was like to not sleep. I was very adamant to do every single feeding while we were in the NICU, all the overnight feedings, all the daytime feedings, just because, you know, when we got home, they're playing together. When we got home, there was no nurse that was going to help us feed. So I wanted to start to get used to it, even though I had their assistants at the hospital.
Yeah, and I think another thing that was something critical that I learned, that we learned in the NICU, was patience. If there was a time for patience, it was then, when those babies were born, because they were so delicate and they just needed, you know, a delicate touch. They needed time, they needed love. And one thing that I learned the most is just to have so much patience with these babies.
It was also a time where we got to celebrate so many firsts. Obviously, our first feed, our first diaper change, first bath.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have seen us celebrate every month, but when we were in the NICU, we celebrated like every day. I think it was every hour, every day there was a celebration. And then when we got to week 1,
there was just so much to celebrate.
Yeah.
Hi, baby. Hi. ¿Tú quieres estar en parte de este bochinche? ¿Eh? Say hi. Say hi, baby. So what for you was the scariest part of the NICU?
I think that once there was some kind of breathing oxygen level that was lower on any of the babies, I was worried about that. And since we were sleeping, you know, right next to where they were, we would hear all the machines. So every time a machine went off, I just freaked out. And I think still to this day, I still hear the beeping of those machines and I freak out. And you know, there was really no true resting when you're in the NICU, because there's, you know, the nurses say, oh, well, you know, we'll take care of as much as we can. But when you're there, you want to be present, and you know, when a machine goes off, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna run to your child and make sure they're okay. So that was the scariest thing for me.
Yeah, for me was the first 48 hours when it was as bad as it got, with them not being able to breathe and not being able to eat. This was also, mind you, in the middle of a global pandemic, which I think made matters worse. But I think the first 48 hours were the toughest. I think that once they started to do better and improve, then it got a little bit easier.
Yeah, and especially in those first 48 hours, we would ask the doctors, and they, you know, there was no guarantees of anything. They're like, oh, we're gonna do our best, and then, you know, it looks, you know, the prognosis, it seems okay, but you know, it's just never a for sure thing. And you just don't know. So that was always in the back of my mind as well. So I'm with you on that one.
And if you haven't seen our full NICU video, we will put it down in the comments.
Yeah, we're gonna put the card up here too to link it in.
Which is our 14-day journey in the NICU, which was also a very emotional video. And I think for you, or for us, it was kind of like, it set the tone of what our channel was going to be like, because it was very real and it was very raw, and there was a lot of emotions in that video.
Yes. So what was the best part for you of our NICU stay?
Leaving.
Leaving?
Leaving. It was very emotional, but you know, when their life is on the line, you just never know if you're going to be able to leave with both of them, which was a very big concern. And I was happy to have being one of the lucky parents to leave with to leave with both of them.
And we had the best care, so let's just put that out there as well. We've talked about this in many of our videos, that we had the best nurses and doctors we could have ever dreamt of. Our kids were so well taken care of. They really nurtured us and guided us every single day. They taught us everything that we learned, that we needed for their care. It was a happy and sad celebration when we did leave, because we were saying goodbye to them, although we are still connected to many of them, which is amazing.
Yeah, and if you are in the NICU or even in the hospital giving birth, don't forget your thank you cards. At a minimum, you know, a handwritten note goes such a long way with these people that work so long and so hard for
Or you
our
can
health
send them
and
something.
safety.
Yeah, you can send them something afterwards
Oh my
too.
God, look at him
he
under
under
the
the-
bed. I can't. Hold, please. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, guys.
So on that note,
we are going to go. It is their feeding time. The boys are hungry. Oh my God.
somebody's hangry and cranky.
Right. The toddler years are going to be so much fun, and you guys are going to be part of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope that you found this video
Helpful and
enjoyable.
enlightening.
Yes. Say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Say YouTube.
Bye.
YouTube, bye.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye to say bye. Say bye to your fans. Bye. We love you. Thank you for watching. Do you YouTube? Bye bye. We love you guys.